We got this one from the Daily Mail. Trump cover-up escalates as photo editor and at popular publication wants to ban iconic raised fist photo for making GOP nominee look too good. An editor at a major news outlet wants the press to stop using the iconic photo of the assassination attempt against Donald Trump because it represents free PR for his campaign. I'm going to pause you right there. This is literally a historical photo of a major event that rocked this nation to its core, on par with some of the worst tragedies in American history, just narrowly being avoided. And you're saying don't show that photo? These people are partisan shills. They work for the Democratic Party. The unnamed editor told Axios that sharing the historic photo of the former president standing after he survived the attempt on his life is dangerous despite how good it is. As I am reading this story, breaking news came in. Secret Service spotted Trump gunman inside rally 3 hours before shooting. I told you, we are going to get notified within a day or two that they're like, actually, they were well aware of this man. They knew of his plan for a week. Right. Let's get back to the story at hand, though. Liberal-leaning Axios reported that multiple unnamed photographers told them they were worried the image taken by Pulitzer Prize-winning Evan Fucci could turn into photoganda by the Trump campaign to further their agenda, despite the photographer's intent of capturing a news event. These people are evil. They are so evil. If Donald Trump wants to use a piece of history to campaign, so be it. When you convey the news, it is for the intention to inform the public. And be it Trump or anyone else who wants to show this image of how he responded, that is the truth. To argue the truth should be concealed as to how Donald Trump responded because you don't want him to win makes you a vile and evil person. These journalists, man, they are so evil. One photographer said the photo could become a propaganda machine and make Trump a martyr. Could be, shouldn't be your concern. What a journalist does is says, I take the picture, I cast it out to the world. You decide. These people are saying, we're trying to tell the news, but only if it's bad for Trump. When a photo comes out that makes him look good, we better stop using it. Do you see? They're not trying to inform you or tell the news. They're trying to convey a narrative that they control. We shouldn't let Donald Trump show the photo of what happened. In 2011 at Occupy Wall Street, I had just left the park. There was a meeting, and this is the raid on Zuccotti. I was leaving, and we saw a bunch of squad cars doing donuts, like they were driving around these blocks. We're like, that was weird. I take the train out to where is like Jamaica? It's an area of New York. I think that's what it's called. I'm at my friend's house, and it's probably a half-hour or hour train ride. Right when I sit down, open my laptop, I see Twitter. Breaking, police have begun a raid on Occupy Wall Street. So I thought to myself for about 5 seconds, I was like, man, I guess I'm not there. I guess it's getting raided. I'm not going to be there. And then I stopped, and I was like, no. This is history. This is the end of Occupy Wall Street. I have to get there even if I'm late. So I ran outside. I threw everything in my bag, ran outside, ran into a bar, and I said, call me a cab, quick, call me a cab. And they're like, well, I said, give me a cab. They call a livery service. Thank you very much. The car pulls up, and I said, my guy, I need to get to Zuccotti Park 10 minutes ago. I'll make it worth your while. And the guy goes, you got it, buddy. And he pedals to the metal. Dude was speeding. I make it to Occupy Wall Street. I give the guy like $100 for the ride. I jump out. Park is surrounded. Police are rounding people up, and I start streaming. Very quickly, even though I'm outside, people start sharing and picking up this live stream. This is a big breaking point for me in my career. I had a decent amount of followers from doing these live streams. This one was big. It was picked up by Time Magazine. And at some point, as I'm filming outside the park, I come across a handful of far leftists in masks deflating police tires. For what reason? I have no idea. It does nothing. It hinders these officers in no real way. They were just airing out the tires. And as I'm filming, walking around saying, this is what is happening, I turn and there they are right in front of me. So they get in my face, swing at me. tell me to stop filming. I had been repeatedly attacked by these leftists. They had told me that I should stop filming them and only film the police, that I should be producing propaganda for them so they can win. And I said, F you. I'm here to tell people what's happening, not who they should support. If you guys punch a cop in the face, I'm going to show that to people. If the cop punches you in the face, I'm going to show that to people. And that's what I did. And that's what a journalist should do. I wasn't intending on being a journalist. I just wanted to know the truth, and I want people to know the truth. And the truth is here today. Donald Trump on Saturday defiantly rose after taking a bullet, raised his fist, and yelled, "Fight, fight, fight." And Evan Vucci, I think it's Vucci, not Fucci, got an incredible, an iconic, a historic moment. He captured that moment and shared it with the world, as is the job of a journalist. I envy this man, for to be there at that moment and capture what is a piece of human history for millennia to come is the dream of every journalist, to be in that moment, to capture that moment and share it in such an amazing and incredible way, to tell the people this is humanity. And now, journalists are saying, don't show people the truth. They must not know what it actually looked like, what the president actually did, because it could help him. Here's my question for you. Why does this photo help Donald Trump? It helps Donald Trump because Donald Trump did a good thing. That's it. It helps Donald Trump because of the legitimate, factual actions of Donald Trump. He stood up defiantly, raised his fist with blood on his face, and said, "Fight, fight, fight." And that is good for him. He did good. It benefits him. When the American people see that, they are inspired. When communist crackpot psychopaths who believe in controlling the narrative, rejecting the truth, trying to manipulate you to steal power see that, they say, heavens help us. The truth will set them free, and we must not allow it. I've not seen, this is one of the most vile things I've seen in a long time. The photograph of a bloodied Donald Trump with his fist in the air and an American flag gleaming in the background is quickly emerging as the pivotal image of Saturday's shooting. It's going to be in every campaign ad. Commercials no longer need to attack Joe Biden. They don't. We don't need commercials say Joe Biden's for illegal immigration. The only commercial you need now is on July 13th, 2024, a deranged gunman put Donald Trump in his sights and opened fire. But for the grace of God, Donald Trump narrowly avoided death, taking a bullet to his ear, defiantly emerging from the ground, blood on his face, raising his fist for this country and saying, "Fight." Donald Trump, 2024. That's all you need. When people are trying to decide who's going to be their leader, what matters? What can the president do? Well, when it comes to foreign policy, Joe Biden is weak. He's mocked, he's confused, he's frail, and he is, by many accounts, infirm. And it's sad. And what I want for Joe Biden is for him to sit in a rocking chair on his porch with some sun tea while his grandkids play in the yard. To relax. Joe, you've earned it. Not that I'm a fan of your career, the things you've done, but, we all have disagreements politically. And instead of getting into the nuances of American politics over the past 50 some odd years, let's just say this. Joe, go sit in your wheelchair, watch your grandkids play, and enjoy some sun tea. And then we'll take over from here and we'll try to fix the things you broke. I think that's fair. I know some people want retribution and stuff like that, but, we try to be reasonable people. That's what we want for Joe. The American people, when they're choosing their political leaders, want to know that there's policy in mind that will improve their lives. They want to know that the commander-in-chief of the armed forces has the wherewithal, has the force of will to stand strong to defend this nation. Donald Trump rose up after getting struck in the face by a bullet on the side of the head and yelled, "Fight," with his fist raised. The next day, he was playing golf. The next day, he was at work with a bandage on his ear. And what did these people do? They insulted him. They lamented the fact that the shooter missed. I think the American people see that photo and they conclude one thing. Here's a guy who is going to stand up for us and defend us. He has the strength of will. He has the strength of mind. While Joe Biden falls up the stairs, Donald Trump rises after getting shot in the side of the head. Amazing. They're going to say video of the assassination attempt at a Pennsylvania rally filled television screens. We know this before it was even clear what happened. Yet the work of Evan Vucci, Getty's Anna Moneymaker, and Doug Mills of the New York Times, whose picture caught apparent evidence of a bullet whizzing past Trump's head. Incredible photo, by the way. Proved the enduring potency of still photography in a world driven by a flood of moving pictures. I agree. The image of the bullet flying past Trump's head, you can see his head's turned, his hand is up, and the bullet is right behind him. That's the bullet that struck him. The bullet hits him, and then after it does, he reacts. Look at this. Trump grabbed his right ear as the first shots rang out. A bullet ripped through his ear. Trump didn't know. He grabbed his ear. He hits the deck. Look at the reaction of people. It takes you a second to realize what's happening. Vucci's image, one of the many he took on Saturday, could also have political implications from many directions, as indelible images often do in the days and years after seismic events happen. Without question, Evans' photo will become the definitive photo from the assassination attempt. Patrick Whitty, a former photo editor at Time, the New York Times, and National Geographic, told the AP. It captures a range of complex details and emotions in one still image. The defiantly raised fist, the blood, the agents clamoring to push Trump off the stage, and most importantly, the flag. That's what elevates this photo. Authorities are still working to figure out how 20-year-old Thomas Crooks was able to nearly shoot Trump in the head. I want to go back to this photo, my friends. Evan Vucci captured one of the most iconic photos in American history. And for that matter, considering how long photography has been around, I mean, one of the most iconic photos in human history. And the argument from journalists is conceal it. Otherwise, Trump might win. But I'll stress this again. Why might he win? Because the photo proves that Trump will stand strong for you. Donald Trump is a billionaire who could be riding in a yacht in the Mediterranean, sipping on a mojito, or whatever. What do they have in the Mediterranean? A Rocky. Let's just say he's off the coast of Turkey. He's near Turkey, and so he's got a Rocky. That's what they're called. It's like an anise alcohol drink. I hate anise, by the way. Anyway, Trump could be driving golf balls off his yacht into the Mediterranean Sea with beautiful women, or his family around enjoying his golden years, and say, I lived a long life, I built many buildings. Instead, he's like, I want to go to war with the deep state, with the corruption in this country. I want to stand strong for the United States. I want people to love and respect the work that I do, and I want the work to be for them. And he goes to a rally, and he gets shot in the side of the head. That's wild. That photo captures all of that. It's not just an image of Donald Trump standing up with a raised fist. It's an image of a billionaire who has no real reason to sacrifice his health and well-being, his family, his life for his country and what he believes in. It shows that he is willing to stand up after all of this, not run away. I don't care what your political arguments are. Joe Biden will never overcome that. And that's why I'll say this. I don't think there's going to be another debate, because Joe Biden will not be able to debate Donald Trump. He won't. They'll be on stage and Joe will say, this guy is a lie. He's a threat to democracy. And Donald will go, Joe, it is that language that you've been using that resulted in a man trying to take my life and killing an innocent person. It is irresponsible. Biden can't do that. You can't. Biden pulled his ads for a day. Sure. I don't know how much that really matters in the long run. But, he did. I look at this and I think that the argument is over. I think that's the easiest way to describe it. The battle's not over. Donald Trump chose J.D. Vance, and a lot of people have questions as to why he did. We spoke last night on Timcast IRL, and Luke Rudkowski says, no, the election's over. That's it. Trump won. Well, I would say sure, but there's no reason why Donald Trump should simply give up the fight right now. Donald Trump should say, at this point, we yell charge. The idea that when you start gaining ground, you stop is ridiculous. J.D. Vance plays well in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Ohio. 3 states where Donald Trump is the weakest, namely Wisconsin and Michigan. With J.D. Vance, it allows him that boost, and it names the heir to MAGA. I want y'all to understand this. I don't know to what degree there's official capacity involved in the shooting attempt at Donald Trump, but it certainly seems like the simple solution. Someone else was involved. To what degree? Again, I don't know. But the idea that a random guy, 3 hours now we're learning, the timeline keeps growing. 3 hours he was spotted. I'm sorry. I think it may come out that somebody was trying an official capacity, inside job of some sort. Donald Trump would have died that day were it not for the grace of God. You may be an atheist and not believe in God. Then don't take that in the literal sense. Take it in the figurative sense. At any rate, it was but a fraction of strange probability that Donald Trump tilted his head forward and to the right a little bit, and the bullet, instead of going into his eye, went into his ear. Crazy, isn't it? So what would have happened? If on that day Donald Trump died, Joe Biden would give a eulogy. He would give his national address and say, ladies and gentlemen, we've gone too far. We need unity. I don't know that this country could survive. Come Monday, Nikki Haley would be the Republican nominee. No question. Trump had not named a VP. He wasn't going to jail. And Nikki Haley has the next highest amount of delegates. She'd say, I am ready to serve this country in the memory of Donald Trump. We had our disagreements, but he was a good man. And that would have been it. But it didn't happen. Why? Because Trump tilted his head a millimeter. He tilted his head a little bit forward. And for that, on Monday, he announced J.D. Vance. He didn't even wait. I was sitting at what is it called? It's called New Fashioned. Excellent cheeseburgers, by the way. I got the gluten-free bun. And it was delicious. We were waiting just outside the Fiserv building. That's where they're doing we're having the main RNC event, the floor in the stadium and all that stuff. We were thinking, like, when should we head back to the studio, because we're outside the secure zone. We wouldn't be able to do IRL inside. It's just not possible. Media Row and all these places, like, people are walking up. Alex Stein's walking in front of the camera. People would be yelling. Like, you couldn't do it. More importantly, though, we have live tickets that we're selling seats. So people can come watch live. You couldn't do that there. And so we're hanging out there. And when should we leave? And I'm like, well, let's stick around, because Trump's, I think, going to show up and he's going to do the announcement of the VP, and we should be here for that. That's supposed to be at 3 or 4 p.m. And then we can head back and start getting ready for our Timcast IRL. And then Trump just posts on Truth. J.D. Vance is who I've chosen. We all kind of knew it. And I was just like, did he just post it on the internet? Like, he did? All right, let's head back to the studio, I guess. Don't need to be here for this. I'll tell you why I think he did this. Trump probably knew. They told him, you need to name your VP now in the event something else happens. This is not even 48 hours after someone tried to take his life. He's secure, and they say, name your VP, because if you go out onto the street and you go to the RNC and you know that someone's got it out for you and you don't name your VP, Nikki Haley's president. If something were to happen to Donald Trump right now, then J.D. Vance could likely pick up the reins and be the nominee, which is, man, I mean, it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. I don't know what will happen next, and many people are asking if they think there will be another attempt on Donald Trump's life. Well, the opening story for the stream we did this morning, for those that are watching still live, you know this, was about a man with an AK pistol outside the RNC. Interesting. I do not believe anyone will stop. When Brandon Strzok asked, when we were asked on Timcast IRL with Brandon Strzok whether we thought Trump would be in prison, I said, no, I think house arrest. It's strategic. And Brandon said, why? Why would they stop now? Trump won in court. He won in court again, and he won in court again. He won at the Supreme Court. He got his sentencing postponed for the hush money case, and now the documents case has been dismissed. He was supposed to be in prison, but he won. And so what happens next? A bullet whizzes past his head. They failed. They killed an innocent man and critically injured 2 others, but they could not stop Trump. Everything they've heard of this man, they have failed. They could not stop him. Maybe and hopefully they give up now. And they just say, guys, if that don't work, I don't know what does. Or maybe they just say, no. I hope things calm down. I really do. It's getting too crazy, man. You know, what do we want? We want security. We want to be able to feed our families. We want to be able to watch the sporting events and have a good time. These people have plumb lost their minds. The idea that they would just, the idea that stopping Trump saves democracy. It's the antithesis of saving democracy. It's the end of democracy. They argue that they would end democracy to save it because they're fascists, they're communists, and you get it. I'm going to wrap up this segment, and then for those that are watching live, we'll jump over to Super Chats, so smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends, head over to timcast.com, click Join Us, become a member to support our work directly, and hang out at our members-only call-in shows. We'll be back. I have another segment for those that are not watching live. That'll be at 4 p.m. And, of course, tonight, Timcast IRL, so stay tuned, and we'll see you all then.